I was on the road and wasn't able to get YouTube up. As soon as I came off the road, we were able to make sure that stuff was on TikTok for you. So we're thankful and grateful that Yahweh gave us an opportunity to do that. Hallelujah. But we're excited to be in front of you one more again. We're going to get ready to go ahead and be on the service today. I guess we got people walking by yelling, so we'll let them pass on. But thank y'all for being on today. We appreciate you. We appreciate you so very much. Thanks for being on again. We honor you. We honor your time. We honor your commitment. We're going to jump right in a second. I'm just trying to make sure that we got Facebook up and running. We'll be finished in a little bit so we can be ready to go into our podcast. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. Amen. But hopefully y'all are doing well, though. Glad to have you again. Thanks for being on. We're about to get started. I apologize. Having connection issues, but I think we're okay. Family. Dealing with the System is Sus series still. Already. I think we're ready to go on all the platforms. Peace, peace, peace to everybody. Let's get into it. Let's press and strain. Let's press towards the mark of the high calling. Let's be the leaders and the founders and the kings and queens we're supposed to be. All righty. Okay, I think we're ready to go. All right, may the words of my mouth and the meditation of mine heart be acceptable in Yahweh's sight. He is our strength and our redeemer, and it is in his name, which is his authority, that we pray, praise, proclaim, project, and protect today's message. Shaman, Shabbat Shalom, Teda, Yashlel, Kwam Yashlel, Ma'anek Kofi, Helet of Servants of Christ, Mashalom Chi, Barak Allah, Shem Yahweh. Hello, everybody. I am Pastor Kofi, Pastor Servants of Christ, where we are always changing lives one mind at a time by being the voice of the voiceless and speaking the unspoken. Grateful to have another opportunity to be in front of you again. Continuing the series called The System is Sus. You can find out more about it on our YouTube channel if you'd like to be able to catch up with us. And we thank you guys for being on. Shabbat Shalom to everybody. Come on in. And we're thankful and grateful. As a reminder, we have our podcast at 10 a.m. Eastern New York time. Minister and Ice will be giving us the word. Right after that, we have our Shabbat Beit Savar, or Shabbat Beit Sefer, the Shabbat school for our children. That'll be at 11 a.m. Eastern New York time. So please, man, please, sir, we ask that you guys feel free to join us in that as well, in our endeavors to make sure that they're being trained up in the way that they should go. So when they grow old, they shall not depart from the teachings correctly. Also, too, those who are interested in different stuff that we're doing at SOC, whether it be stuff like this or some of the people who are putting their business out there, we want to support them in what they're doing. And even though it says SOC, and remember, SOC is a community. So we have different people doing different things, such as Minister Tamara on here, right, providing some love with some of the shirts that she's made, some of the items that she's made for us. Right, you are loved, necessary, majestic, fearfully and wonderfully made. Right, and so we're thankful if you want to go ahead and support that. Also, if you want more information on different things like shirts, as far as by our very own brother Jermaine. Right, this is the sweatshirt. Some of you have seen the T-shirt, and he even has stuff on the back like the Tet. For us, that's wisdom, and hashtag Find Kofi. So some people even see this X. Y'all might think X-Men if you don't know any better. But that's actually Tet for us. Speaking of our wisdom, come on, because all the stuff that they're getting, you might gotta remember it comes from somewhere. So we're thankful and grateful that we know where we come from and who we come from, which is more important. Praise Yah for him touching every one of your lives. Thank you for your prayers. It's had some stuff to deal with. I apologize. I was going to try to jump on yesterday in the rising, and I just couldn't do it. Had some stuff that we had to take care of, but we're glad that you guys are doing well. Okay, so to business, and make sure we get this done somewhat quick because we have our podcast coming up. We want to make sure Minister Nice has the time that she needs. Once again, that's 10 a.m. Eastern New York time, the Kofi Ofori podcast. At 11 a.m. Eastern New York time is going to be for the babies. And 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern, New York time as well. I believe, I got to double check. I believe we're doing a makeup for our sisters. So if you're able to be on Zoom for the women's meeting, I believe we're supposed to be moving that. So I'll make sure that that's put on the Google Calendar invite, as well as for those of you who aren't. Now, if you're a sister, go to the meeting first, right? Business first. However, I've been invited, and I'll probably be on after your meeting is finished. So I've been invited to go on live with our very own Minister Tama, who has something she does every Saturday at 7. We're going to talk about the Holy Spirit. So once you finish with the women's meeting, y'all can come over there. Or if you just want to come and support your boy, if one of our brothers, you can go ahead and come there. That'll be on TikTok today. I will be on this TikTok channel. So I'll come on Kofi_43, I believe. Right. And we'll try to make sure that that's there. And we'll try to also have it recorded. At least the audio of it will be recorded for those of you who are part of the Patreon family. We'll make sure that we put that on Patreon for you guys as well. Okay. All righty. Thank you guys for being on. We appreciate you again. We're excited. Oh. Okay. We're having some signal issues, but we're going to make it through. We're going to make it through. As soon as they come back, we'll go ahead and get into this all the way. And praise y'all for everybody once again for being on. I'm on. All right. So prayerfully we get done with the TikTok signal issues. We can go on. So today in this series, The System is Sus, our motif today is something that's simple, but we need to go deep into it. It will take some time to go deep into it. I'm sorry. Before we do that, let's say hello to everybody. Everybody who's on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, we appreciate your presence so very much. How you doing, Sister LaCrystal? How you doing, Sister Deborah? How you doing, Charles? How you doing, Brad? How you doing, Joy? How you doing, Stephen? How you doing, Jeremy? How you doing, Sister Nadine? Aman. Let's see. If I miss your name, charge to my head, not to my heart, by the way. Love y'all. How you doing, Sister Monica? How you doing, Minister Joseph? Man of y'all over there, part of the power couple. How y'all doing? Minister Sharon, I was just about to say, Minister Sharon is with you or not with you, but dang, man, she's on. Praise y'all. Minister Tamara, everybody. How y'all doing? Come on in. I'm excited this rising. Y'all excited? I'm excited this rising. You ever have an excitement you can't even comprehend? You can't even tell people why you're excited. You're just feeling something. I'm excited this rising. How you doing? Is it Michelle? I don't know if I said that correct, but thank y'all so much for being on. Appreciate you. How you doing, Sister Drea? And thank y'all so much for what you do. Thank you kindly. I'm still feeding off of us coming together. Those who came up to New Jersey and said hello for Pentecost. I'm still feeding off of that time. How you doing, Sister Latoya, Rita, everybody? Gus Sissy. By the way, I think we got to get back on track with what we were doing, right? If I got the right person with the right name. So, but thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. Michaela. Okay, Michaela. Oh, no. There's somebody else on there. But I see you, Michaela. There's somebody else on there that has a different name. Or unless it's flipping back and forth between your names. Sometimes it does it, but thank you. Right? Alrighty. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get into this real quick. Right? Let's go ahead and get into this. Osayo, you said Countess. Okay. Try to remember that. How you doing, Miss Pierce? Alrighty. So I'm excited to get into this. Because today we're going to talk about haters go viral. Haters go viral. And in parentheses, if you want to put in parentheses, you can call this the Skip Bayless effect. Those of you who are into sports, you already know who I'm talking about. Those of you who are not, I'm going to have to break down who Skip Bayless is just a little bit. And I'm going to send you down a rabbit hole. I know it's Shabbat Shalom. All right. I know it's Shabbat. I know it's a period of time to rest. I know all these things, but I'm just giving you a little, if you want to do a little homework assignment, if you don't know who I'm talking about, especially if you don't know what just happened once again with the drama between him and his broadcast partner, Shannon Sharp. I just want you to notice that haters go viral, right? And it's very rare that I get to speak on what I want. I know a lot of people think, well, you like to do this, of course, but I'm led, right? So I don't always just get to speak on something randomly, right? Like I have to be led to do it. And so there's a lot of stuff I would like to say that I don't get to say or get to go into, or at least not when I would like to go into it, because it's not for the time that we're going through. It's not, the timing's not correct. But it's interesting that I get to talk about this in somewhat real time. I'm a couple days behind already in this, but I want to talk about haters go viral. right? How you doing, Linda? Haters go viral. Now, you must recognize if haters go viral, then lovers do not. Right? Simple, but did you catch it? Right? Simple. I want you to give you a mindset. Let's set a foundation. If haters, if hating on somebody goes viral, then that means loving on somebody. And I'm not talking about the love of the world. I'm talking about loving them properly. I'm talking about being empathetic. I'm talking about praying for people. I'm talking about forgiving. I'm talking about building for others. I'm talking about setting a foundation and being a foundation that everybody steps into the house. Everybody loves the house built on the foundation, but not one time will they mention the foundation. I'm talking about real stuff. Haters go viral, but that means that real lovers do not. How you doing, Sister Nadine, if I didn't say so already? Right? So haters go viral, and I'm going to call this today, if you want to put in parentheses, we're going to call this the Skip Bayless effect. So if you want to look up who Skip Bayless is to go down a rabbit hole, if you just go on YouTube, if you go on Google, but YouTube's probably easier. If you just go straight to Google and type in the search engine there, type in Skip Bayless, when you get a chance, you will discover that you won't find positive things that pop up. You're not going to find something that says Skip. Look, and I'm not saying I don't have a heaven and hell to put anybody in. I'm using this as an example. If right, you have to be careful, all of us. If we're going to put our life on display, that means your life is on display. It means it should be studied. If I'm going to put my marriage on display, it means people should study my marriage. If I'm going to put these words on display, it means you should critique and study and break down these words. You hear what I'm saying? So I'm not coming here to say Skip Bayless is going to hell. I just want you to see that haters go viral. And Skip Bayless would probably be somewhat offended, even though he doesn't know who I am, so he probably wouldn't care. But I just want you to recognize that haters go viral, right? Why is that important to know? Because if you're not careful, you'll start to follow the example of the person who goes viral. But see, what I've learned in my life is if I catch a virus, it's supposed to be cured. Mm, come on, somebody. Yeah, they couldn't bounce back. I feel you, right? We're gonna talk about this situation too, right? But hear what I'm saying now. We make the assumption that because something goes viral, we must entertain it. But if something's viral in my body, I need to make sure that it is cured. Okay? Just because there's a bunch of people who's shaking that, you know what? That don't mean that that donkey need to be something that becomes a normal part of my life. I need to go into my feed and make sure that that thing don't keep popping up. How you doing, Big Roy? You hear what I'm saying? If haters go viral, then we got to cleanse the virus, right? Somebody help me. I don't remember the old saying. I'm about to reverse it. I think it's if you're, what is it? Is it feed the cold and starve the flu? If I've got a virus, I'm supposed to starve it, right? I believe. I think I'm right. Or am I reversing it? Somebody help me. I want to make sure I'm saying that right. Somebody probably heard that before, right? But you, what is it? You feed a cold, or you when you're sick, you feed it. But when you have a flu, you starve it. So if I'm dealing with something that's viral, I have to start starving that thing in my life. I'm right. Okay, thank you, thank you. I could remember. I'm pretty sure because that's the way that the body works. So I figured. Okay, so when we get haters, you have to figure out how to start starving haters. See, because I want to give you well, let's give you a working definition of hate. But first, I need to give you our working definition of love. Okay, thank y'all. Appreciate it. So, what's the working definition of love that we like to use a lot? Our working definition of love is as follows: love is an action so powerful that it brings about description. It is also a description so powerful that it brings about manifestation. I'm going to say it a couple more times just to make sure that you're with us, right? Okay? Love is an action so powerful that it brings about description. It is also a description so powerful that it brings about manifestation. I'm going to say it one more again, and then we'll move on to the hate because I got to give you the working definition of love. Working definition of love that we can use today or you could use in your everyday life is what? That love is an action so powerful that it brings about description. It is also a description so powerful that it will bring about manifestation. Right? So how you doing, Amma? Is that Amma? Is that a West African Amma, or is that somewhere else? If so, if it's West African, if it's well, for us, if you want to call it Ghanaian, if it's Ghana, my wife is Amma too. So if not, welcome no matter what it is, right? And Ava in Hebrew, Amma also means mother as well. So welcome to. But love is an action so powerful that it brings about description. It is also a description powerful that it brings about manifestation. All right. That's what love is. So love is an action. If we can just break it down, make it real simple. Love is an action, how I act towards you. But then hate is the opposite of love. So hate is the opposite of love. So if love is an action, then hate is inaction. In other words, hate is when we're trying to really detest something. So we say we shouldn't like the action, or we shouldn't bring up the action, or we should ignore the action. So if love is action and you say hate is the opposite of love, that means that hate is us trying to lead to inaction. And I'm here to tell you that haters have gone viral to make sure that things that you should be active in have become inactive in your life. Did you catch it? Right? So love is an action that shows people that's who he is. And it'll start to manifest certain things because my actions, my love begins to manifest certain things, right? Hate is us trying to get you to a place where you stop acting. A hater is trying to get you to stop acting upon something. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody, right? So haters go viral. Why is this problematic? This is problematic because we only address things out of hate as an overall society. This is why we need to rebuild our community, right? Haters try to be master. Sure, because watch this. Because what does Massa need in order for you to show him love? Massa needs you to hate or ignore yourself so that you will love or act for him, right? And we have gotten to a place where hating ourselves or hating on others has become so viral that we don't even act for things for ourselves. Are we gonna make this work? See, but we gotta lay that's why we gotta lay this foundation down first, because some of us are trying to argue what haters are and this and that, but we gotta figure out first what is love and what is hate. How you doing, Auntie B? We gotta figure out what is love, what is hate, what does this look like? Who is this? Why am I operating this way? I would tell you, I would submit to you that a lot of people don't care about racism until you have a racist to hate on. Salah, come on, somebody. Pause and think about it. I would submit to you today, brothers and sisters, that a lot of you don't even hate racism because racism is the system, and you live in the system every day based upon a competition. Race, competition, ism, system. And you live in that every day, and you do very well to survive through that prism, right? But many of you do not hate on racism until you find a person to hate on. This is why the Bible says stuff like love the person, but hate the sin. Right? Love the sinner rather, but hate the sin. Why? Because the sin is not even the person. See, the system of racism is not the racist. The racist can participate, the racist can benefit, right? But the racist that, right, often, to matter of fact, if we be honest, all the racists that are alive today, they did not invent racism. Come on, right? They're a vessel. Now, we don't like to talk about vessel and negative because we like to say, well, I'm a vessel. Well, yeah, you can be a vessel of positivity. You can be a vessel of negativity. But a lot of us will not hate on the system until we find a person, which means the system keeps flowing because the system doesn't get to go viral, even though that should be, you live in it so much that you should realize it is viral. But you don't put the system on blast. You want to put the person on blast, which is why it keeps being perpetuated. If you would stop giving so much love to the system, then you wouldn't even have time for the people who are trying to benefit from it because you would be separate from it. I didn't say segregate, but I did say separate. If you spent less time hating on the person, right, and hating the system, if you spent less time hating the person but hating the sin, you would have a lot more going on with your own community, with your own family, right? Right? Hate the devil all you want, but the devil is not your problem because the devil has no authority until you give it to him. I'm not saying, I'm not coming at you, by the way. I just want to put that out there, right? Right? Hate on the devil all you want, but the devil's not using himself; he's using the system. And if you know how the word works, Revelation, especially for those who like to go there, well, then the devil did not even build the system. People who worship the devil built a system that mirrors the devil. So the system is the only way that the devil is authorized. See, y'all do this stuff like, oh, you know what? There's just people possess you, demons possess you. Demons can't possess anybody. I believe in demon possession, but demons cannot possess anybody unless you give them authorization to do so. So you have to have a system in your life that opens up a doorway for demonic possession. If there's no system in your life that opens up a doorway for demonic possession, you cannot be possessed. Right? Let's stop making it so mystical that it's not practical, right? You're fighting the fight off of this mysticism rather than dealing with all these isms, the classisms, the racisms, the feminisms, the authoritisms, the whatever, the sectisms, the sexisms, right? The chauvinisms, the male chauvinisms, the female chauvinisms, all these isms that you have, these systems. ISM is a system, but we're forgetting that that's right. You got to recognize the system is the issue, but we don't do anything until we see the hater. Stop waiting for a hater to manifest before you hate on the system that creates the hater. May I say that? I'm gonna say that about 5 more times. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Stop hating this stop hating, right? On the right, or you need to start. Let me say it. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Help me out because I don't even remember what I said. Okay. Stop worrying about the person who's the hater if you won't hate on the system that creates the hater. Did you catch it? Stop hating on the hate, or stop coming at the hater, right? If you won't hate on the system that the hater was made by. Stop coming at the hater when you won't hate on the system that creates the hater, right? Stop hating on the hater, right? When you yourself won't hate on the system that manifests hate. Stop hating the person who's an artificial version of themselves because they're not designed to hate, rather than dealing with an artificial system that's caused them to go from loving to hating. Haters go viral and we fall for it every time. We make haters. What do we say today? We're talking about haters go viral, right? And we, in parentheses, we're calling this the Skip Bayless effect. Homework assignment: if you don't know who Skip Bayless is, go look up, Google Skip Bayless. Not only with Shannon Sharp, Google Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless is somebody. Now I've got to explain who Skip Bayless is. Skip Bayless is somebody, and once again, I'm not putting this person in heaven to hell. I have no heaven to hell to put anybody in. This is not what I'm doing, right? But I just want you to recognize what goes on. See, Skip Bayless is somebody who's famous and infamous at this point for hate and nothing else. And people will watch Skip Bayless just to hate on him and nothing else. We don't care what he has to say. We just want to hear how he's going to hate. Matter of fact, I was getting to a place where I had to start ignoring them because I literally would turn, to their channel on YouTube. I would swipe and find it sometimes, and I would sit there because I like to watch. I don't watch sports as much anymore, but I like to watch kind of the conversation of sports because it's something that teaches you a lot about our everyday society. And I would sit there and try to watch Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, or Skip Bayless and Michael Wilbon, or Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, or Skip Bayless and whomever. And usually the other person goes first. And they start going and going and going and going. And then Skip Bayless basically hates. And after about a minute, 2 minutes max, I'm like, okay, I've got the gist of how he was going to hate. And I realized I wasn't even tuning in to see what he had to say. I was tuning in just to see how he was going to hate. That's a waste of my time. In all honesty, that's really a waste of his time, but it's not because he's getting paid. And how you doing, Sister Tracy, if I didn't say so already? And thank y'all for the love. Appreciate it. I think I missed some, but thank y'all. Right? My wife made some natural spray for us, so I'm not getting hit up by these mosquitoes out here. Right? You hear what I'm saying? And I realize that I'm not even tuning in for what's real anymore. I'm tuning in just to see somebody hate and try to form, because I'm somebody who's very much so into apologetics. I'm somebody who's very much so into debate to a certain degree, because the debate is healthy. If you follow rules, debate is actually pretty healthy. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to tune in, listen to these cats real quick, right? And that's it. But I actually realized I wasn't even tuning in to listen. I was tuning in to see how this person was hating. And thanks for the love. And so I had to fast from it, right? I had to let it go. I had to stop giving it so much of my energy. I had to stop. I could be focusing on something for my son. I could be focusing on something for my wife. I could be focused on something for you guys. I could be focusing on a better me. I could be watching something else that, even if it's still on YouTube, it actually educates me. But instead, I'm focusing on how somebody gonna hate on somebody and which side I'm gonna take and this and that or whatever. It's a right. But haters go viral. And thank you for the love. Haters go viral. We love to hate. That's wild, isn't it? Because they're opposites, but it's cognitive dissonance. We love action. We put actions towards hate, inaction. We'll put certain actions towards making sure that we can stay away or tell somebody why they're not this. We can't wait for somebody to say, is it Michael or LeBron? Oh, well, Michael didn't do this. Well, LeBron didn't do this. Who cares? Did they ever play one-on-one in their prime? And by the way, can I just put this out there? I know we're going into some sports stuff, but I told you this is a microcosm. Sports is a microcosm of how overall society works. And how you doing, Minister Nice? Right? Like I just want to drop this on your lap real quick if you're not aware, right? When we're dealing with hate and stuff like this and coming back and forth, like this stuff is foolish. If you know how the game of basketball works, the game of basketball was not the same game when Michael Jordan played as it is today when LeBron James plays. The game of basketball was not the same game Michael Jordan played that it was when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played, right? Like there was no three-point line. Different game, right? Go back further. Do you not know that when Bill Russell played, Bill Russell, one of the genius things that Bill Russell came up with was a fast break. And sometimes they didn't even have a shot clock at one point. That means that people didn't even have to shoot the ball in a certain amount of time. They just ran around and ran around and ran around. So if you were a great player and could score 50 points in a game like you have people today, you couldn't even show that because somebody would say, ooh, the best way we can do that is try to keep the ball away from the person. Matter of fact, if you go back before then, some of the stuff y'all call fouls, y'all think the 80s was rough. That's what everybody says. Isaiah Thomas and the bad boy Pistons and what Michael Jordan had to go through, and the Boston Celtics who taught Isaiah Thomas this, and the late Showtime Lakers who they were Showtime, but if they had to, they could scrap with you. Y'all don't even know that there was a time in basketball that they literally used to have to put up fences so that because people were rough. It was football basically. It was like rugby almost. The rules of basketball used to be almost like rugby. They used to hit each other and people would fly into the stands. As a matter of fact, there are stories that you can read of people where they were like, we're so glad that we built fences, right? Like you have the MMA fence. They used to build that around the basketball court. See, in your mind, you think basketball been the same the whole time, but there's different versions of it. And so they used to have stuff where literally when you would play basketball, they built a gate around to make sure that people didn't hit the people. So if you got bowled and you fell into the gate, there were stories that talked about how they were glad that the gate was there. One of the side problems, one of the side issues, right? One of the side effects that they said they had was that people would have blood that hits them though sometimes. It's a gladiatorial sport. You were supposed to hit people at one point. You were supposed to knock him out at one point. So LeBron James, I mean, he a big guy and everything, but who knows if LeBron James was LeBron James if he played in that basketball? Who knows if Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan if he played in that basketball? Who knows if Michael Jordan was raised today if he would have had the same fervor to become Michael Jordan that he came then, right? But y'all are arguing stuff that doesn't matter because you don't care about context. You don't care about contextual facts, right? We are taught to hate. So we won't even research something to see is there any evidence of this? Should we give ourselves to this? Is this something that's worth my time? Right? Right? Like, could I be talking to you guys the way that I talk to you now and wearing what I'm wearing now and be in the same place in the United States of America preaching a word and feel free enough to be able to give you a word if I was living in 1712? Because in 1712, right, at this time of year, they were hanging a bunch of us on the Jamestown River in Virginia because we were getting out of pocket. They had to ask Willie Lynch at Christmas Day to come on and preach a word, right? at church service or right after church service to get up and preach a word to make sure that people knew how to treat a slave. Right? So to argue these things and not look at the context is folly. Right? At some point, we had to read. That's why even when people say, well, slavery was a choice, I mean, the context is everything. Okay, sure. There were people that chose to be slaves, but if they didn't choose to be slaves, you wouldn't be here. But haters go viral. Haters go viral. That's the problem, is that facts don't go viral. Context doesn't go viral, right? Somebody's passion for us by saying, I will survive so that you might one day thrive, doesn't go viral. Knowing who you are doesn't go viral. Hating who you are goes viral. Right? Loving your locks doesn't get you a corporate job. Right? But hating your locks might. Loving yourself and telling the truth at school might get you an F. Right? But denying yourself and answering the question the way they want you to answer, it might get you an A+. And thank you, Aaron. Appreciate you. Right? Saying that white people are bad because they're white and black people are bad because they're black will get you props. But saying that there are powers that be that have us fighting the game that's not even worth fighting, it doesn't get you props. You see? Haters go viral. Hating goes viral. That is your problem. How you doing, Minister Shante? Haters go viral. Yeah, and it is stupidity. But once again, if you've been raised off of hate, what you've been raised on seems cool. Watch this. If I try to love somebody that's never been loved, a lot of times they distrust me because that didn't go viral in their life. So when I show up with the cure of love to squash and to quench and to even to quench the thirst that they have, they would rather remain thirsty and hate than be able to make sure that they thirst for something that when they get the love of Yah, they will never thirst or hunger again. Culture is everything. Right? Now back to Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless is somebody that we don't even think about it, but you got to look at his environment. Skip Bayless was not ever rewarded with love. Skip Bayless' story is something that he tells you. Now we got to see what it is because Skip Bayless be lying sometimes. But Skip Bayless' story is something that we have to be aware of. Skip Bayless is what we consider, this is not a real thing, but what we consider white people. Skip Bayless would be a white person from Oklahoma, which, by the way, if you didn't know, that's actually because people don't know about the 5 favorite nations and how they had to do the Trail of Tears and all that. But if you're native, you know that Oklahoma, or really, what is it? Akla is really like Aklama, right? But Oklahoma is really more like Aklama. But Oklahoma, it actually means my people, my nation, our nation, if you will, right? But he's from Oklahoma, a place to where a lot of our people were messed over and displaced. And Skip Bayless will tell you a sob story if we don't look for context once again. And I'm not saying, look, for him, where he came from and his culture, this is a sob story, right? But he came from Oklahoma, Oklahoma, or Aklama, right? And this is where he comes from. He came from a place where it's our people, but his people were above our people. And he will tell you that his father was a drunk. His mother was a drunk. He grew up not seeing any love. He says the only love that he received was from his caretaker, who was a black woman. Now, if you don't read between the lines, you'll hear him say this, and he gives so much love to this woman. And look, rightfully so. But you'll hear him and you'll go, oh, that's so nice. He's down for the brothers. He's down for the sisters. And one thing that you miss is that he's not talking about his caretaker. She wouldn't have been called a caretaker. Now, he's not talking about a slave, because we wouldn't call her that, because supposedly she had freedom, right? Can't quite call her a sharecropper, although she would have probably done some of that. But what we can call her is a mammy, because that's what they would have called her. Now, I just need you to catch it. I'm not trying to do the whole white people are evil thing. I just told y'all about that. That's foolish. That's folly. I need you to comprehend the context, right? Because haters go viral and we won't even look at who the hater is. We don't care about who people are. But if you're going to even see why the person's hating and you're going to escape it, you got to be empathetic. Yes, you got to even be empathetic to the hater, because I didn't say sympathy. I said empathy. See, sympathy says that I'm going to go ahead and quote unquote be a simp for it, right? But empathy says that I'm willing to hear where you come from, right? I've studied Adolf Hitler, not because I sympathize with them, but because I want to empathize with them. So if I see somebody going in a direction, I can go ahead and start to put something in their mind and put a seed in there that helps them. And thank you, guys. This is for educational purposes only, right? Right. But I need to empathize. I need to know that Hitler had a really bad childhood. I need to know that his brothers was dying and stuff. I need to know his mother was the only person that loved him and then she died. I need to know that he himself was a Jew, but found that basically his family didn't get the benefits of being a Jew. At the same time, he um, got into this rhetoric or whatever that everybody, because you're a Jew, all Jews deserve to die, which is foolishness. It's folly. It's stupid. But I need to recognize what's going on in his head in order to see some of the situation and some of the stuff he's going to do. I need to know that he fought for Germany in World War I and then saw that the whole world basically locked and hemmed up Germany and that his people were dying. And he wasn't even German. He was from Austria-Hungary. But I need to know this stuff because to see what's going on with the mindset that causes somebody to be looked at, and then he finally gets some love to the point where people start worshiping him as a god, because in Germany, that's what your deists, your deities, your spirits are. That's where the term God comes from. It's a Germanic word. We don't worship God. Germanic people worship God. And by the way, they took the Germanic language because even those people that you think of the Germanic, they're technically not even the Germans who are the real Germanic people. They're not the people of Charlemagne. Right? So I've got to at least be aware that there's some weird stuff going on with him, right? Well, with Skip Bayless, I've got to be aware that this man was raised by a mammy. Now, why is that important? Go and look at everything that Skip Bayless wears. Go and look at the fact that Skip Bayless still be talking to Lil Wayne and has Lil Wayne open up and make his songs for him for First Take or for Undisputed or different things like that. Go and look at Skip Bayless is always trying to have some drip on, right? He don't wear the suit and tie. He got the chain and all that stuff, right? Go and look at all these things. Why? Because he comes from a place, he was raised in that. You hear what I'm saying? He was raised in that. So when I see this, I must already comprehend where the hater comes from and what he's made his living off of and how tearing down people gets him to a certain place. And you'll listen to him, oh man, I love going to black church service. Now, white church service was boring, but black church service was this and black church service was that. But Skip Bayless, you don't live black. And sure, you say some nice things in front of the camera, but you treated our sisters like trash behind the camera. They'll go ahead and give you props, but let's be honest, right? If you know sports, right? If you know who I'm talking about, Joy Taylor. Uh, um, well, that's not a sister. It's a woman. He mistreated her. The girl that was on Undisputed with them, and then got kicked off. Before them, so before Joy Taylor and that sister, there was another girl that was on Undisputed, and she left as soon as she could. Right. Then before her, there was Carrie Champion, if you know who that is. Right. She had to roll out, couldn't stand it. Right. Before them, there was a sister that lost her show on ESPN when she started talking facts and truth about what we were going through in society. Right. And then got fired. And then once ESPN so they could make some money off it, then they wanted people start talking about Black Lives Matter. I can't remember her name right now. Sister from Detroit. Right. And all these sisters, because of what our sisters are kind of forced into, because they can't bite the hand that feeds them and we don't secure them as women, they'll try so hard to still be like, well, Skip is okay and this and that and blah, blah. But he's the reality is they all had to get away from him. ASAP. Jamel Hill. Thank you. Yes, Jamel Hill from the D. Right. Mistreated her. She went and started working for LeBron James Company, but mistreated her. So, right. Carrie Champion now got her own thing on YouTube. Everybody else is leaving to try and find something else, right? But hear him, and he's this great person, and he treats people. But see, you can't be surprised how he treats these women. You can't be surprised how he treated Shannon Sharp. You can't be surprised how he treats Dame Dollar, or not the Dame Dollar, but y'all know Damian Lillard, if you know who that is, right? You can't be surprised when he mistreats people that he doesn't like, because it's got him to where he is. Do you not know this is the same? Maybe you don't know this. See, because before it was television that he was known for hating on people in newspapers. Go read articles of people that he doesn't like, right? And how he tries to destroy their lives. Look up how Troy Aikman, if you know who Troy Aikman is. He's a former quarterback for the former quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, right? And how Skip Bayless used to write articles about a married man with children, trying to tell everybody that he thought Troy Aikman was gay. I'm not saying this in a demeaning way. He was, right? No matter how I feel about that lifestyle, I'm saying this to demean you and say you're not human. Skip Bayless did, though, right? And Skip Bayless, even by the way, even if he was, Skip Bayless, why are you outing him? What's the point of you doing so? To sell your book? So Troy Aikman to this day wants to get his hands on Skip Bayless. There's people in my family right now that's gay. I'm not about to out them. Yeah, we all got skeletons and stuff anyways. We all have sins, right? And we all need to get better at something. But I'm just trying to tell you, right? Like that's where he is, right? Like he's on a mindset where you're being called out, him living off of you and siphoning your fuel, him taking who you are and trying to say it's who he is what got him to where he is. It's what got him millions of dollars. It's what got him to be able to move in one of the best places in the world. How you doing, Marlon? And so the Skip Bayless effect is something that we got to know about. Once again, though, what the theme is really for today is what? Haters go viral. But you got to know who your haters are. Not just what they say. You got to know who they are. Right? Watch this. You can't be surprised when Skip Bayless will mistreat Shannon Sharp and mistreat all these women and mistreat all these professionals and ignore Tom Brady when he's mistreating his family and ignore Michael Jordan when he's mistreating his and locking us up and ignore, but talk bad about LeBron James and talk bad about this person and stuff because who he hates because he's already made a declaration of making money off it. Right, he's made money off of certain people, and he makes money off of loving certain people. But you got to be aware of who he is. See, and I'm going over this. We're gonna get to the point, but just hang in there with me. Right, we're laying the foundation. Right, and we can maybe get into some food stuff in a second because we can definitely go there as well. Right, but I need you to comprehend what's going on. How you doing, Jay? Thanks for being on. Skip Bayless effect. I can't be surprised when Skip Bayless will demean even his co-host is making him a bunch of more money. I can't be surprised when he leaves Stephen A. Smith, who's making him a bunch more money, so he can go get more money and then demean the co-host that he's making money with now. It can't surprise me because you don't know what Skip Bayless' philosophy is on marriage. And that's something we talk a whole lot about on here. How you doing, servant of y'all? Right? How you doing, Romac? We talk a lot about marriage on here because we keep talking about marriage is fundamental and not their version of marriage, our version. But Skip Bayless lives by a very Greco-Roman version of marriage. See, haters go viral. You got to see what's going viral. You got to see the culture that they come from and what that culture provides when they hit this viral splendor that gets them paid. People don't get paid for facts in the news anymore. They get paid if they go viral. And then when they start losing the company money, we fire you. Ask Fox what they just did to, I don't even remember his name. What's your boy's name that just got fired? Old boy that was on Fox and was always the man and saying all this stuff. And then they found out behind the scenes that it came out that they finally checked his texts and they had to get rid of him. They didn't get rid of him because he was lying. They knew he was lying the whole time, but they got rid of him because he got caught. Tucker. Thank you. Tucker Carlson. Yeah. Right. Thank you, Gail. Appreciate it. Right. Like they didn't mind what Tucker was saying. Just like your boy Don Lemon. I don't care. I'm not Republican or Democrat, so I can talk the truth. Right. Like just like your boy Don Lemon. They didn't care about Don Lemon mistreating women, but then being gay at the same time and saying that gay rights and women's rights go hand in hand, but he mistreats women. They didn't care about your boy Don Lemon that was doing stuff to men the same way that women are mistreated, right? He was Me Tooing cats out here while telling y'all hashtag Me Too is something y'all should support. They didn't care about that. They cared that he got caught. Once he got caught, it was viral to go after him, which means that the company now joins the viral movement and goes after him. They don't care. They don't care about that. Whoever your person is being built up, they love it when they go down. They don't care if you're going up or going down. They care if you're viral. This is what the algorithm is about. When you click When you go on somebody's thing and you say you don't like it, don't go back to it no more. Because what the algorithm does is say, okay, if they don't like it, I won't give it to them again. But wait a minute, they keep searching for it and they put thumbs down. They search for it again, thumbs down. They search for it again. Well, they must like hating it, so we'll just keep giving them what they hate. And then you guys say, I don't like all the stuff that's on my feed. I don't like all the stuff that's showing up on my computer, all the stuff that's showing up on my television. But they checking you out, and they say that you tune in because you hate. So we'll keep giving you what you hate. Some people like to watch car accidents, so they'll give you car accidents, right? If you like to see horror films, even though it's one of the most disgusting and despicable things to get in your mind to where you're desensitized, but hey, if you want to keep watching that, we'll feed it to you all day. Come on. Come on, somebody. Salah. Pause and think about it. Right? Why do I see twerking all over my screen? Because if you watch it 10, 15 seconds, we'll give it to you again, and you'll be disgusted 10, 15 seconds more. You'll watch a baby girl at 2 years old in Pampers trying to some music that's foul. She 2 years old. Shorty crumb on the floor wide open. Speak so much they call the bill like an 18-wheeler. And y'all just, oh, that's so cute. And she's up there 2 years old. To the windows. They'll put it on there. They know it's messing you up. They know it's messing up your mindset. They know that you might not even like it, but if you keep watching it, they'll put it there. Because you control the algorithm. You control yours. We talked about the algorithm spiritually before, for those of you who are with us, right? So, or with us on a regular basis. If not, you can look this stuff up on some of our playlists on YouTube. But I just want you to comprehend, right? Like hating goes viral. When haters go viral, you got a problem. See, here's Skip Bayless's problem once again. Look at his marriage and look at where he came from as far as the marriage that he saw, right? Skip Bayless told his wife, first time that they sat down, he said he used to tell us every date that he went out on. He said he found out that Ernestine was the one for, and look, I'm not saying everybody needs to be a mother or father. Everybody got to have children. That's between you and the Most High, what you're called to do, right? Some of us are called to be fruitful and multiply. Multiplication doesn't always mean everybody has children. Multiplication sometimes can mean that you're going to multiply others. I've seen people be great aunts and uncles towards other people's children and raise them and be totally fine, right? Not have to go and look at stuff, not have to go and look at porn, all that. Like I've seen them be totally fine. I'm not saying that everybody got to do the same thing, but let's be honest, a majority of us, a heavy majority of us are called to being parents. Skip Bayless, when he saw marriage, guess what he was raised with? I told you earlier, he was raised with a drunk dad, right? Right? He was caught with a drunk dad, and he was caught with a what? With a drunk mom who had a mammy, misused people, wouldn't take care of things in their environment in their house, but they hired somebody else to do so. Skip Bayless sees that, goes on a date with his wife, and he said he knew he found, his wife's name is Ernestine. He said Ernestine was the one for him because he said when he found Ernestine, hear what I'm saying? He said, when I found Ernestine, I knew she was the one because Ernestine, he said, because Ernestine finally understood something that I told every person I dated, which was, if you go out with me and if you become my wife, I'm not going to have children. Not because I think what my parents did was wrong, right? This and that. That's something he started adding on later on. What he said was, my career comes first, right? If you ever ask me to stop dealing with my career, I will leave you. Or, which by the way is not a bad take all the way, but hear the completeness of it, the wholeness of it, right? You can find the chinks in the armor. He says, if you ever ask me to leave my career, I will leave you because this is what I feel I was created to do, to hate. So if you ever come in front of my hating people, right? If you ever say you need more of my time, if you ever say, hey, you've been watching sports for 2 days straight and you watched 20 hours each day and barely slept, I would like to be able to lay down with my husband. He says, I will not be able to stay with you. In other words, I need you to be a trophy. Go over there, look beautiful and everything, right? But just leave me alone. And he said, I couldn't find a woman that could understand me. See how he twisted is haters, right? He even hates on the woman he went with, right? I couldn't find anybody that was willing to take my hate on them. I couldn't find anybody that wouldn't just be 100% in, like, as far as I get 100% of the call. Like, look, I'm not a monster. I'll make sure you got money. I'll make sure I go with you for stuff from time to time. I'll make sure that you look better than all the women on the block. Like, I'll give you security. And by the way, a woman's number one need is security, right? But I'm not gonna give you affection. That's the number two need, right? But I'll secure you. I'm not a monster. How you doing, brother Jermaine? I'm not a bad guy. I just need somebody who I can do whatever and literally whatever the hell I want. I want somebody who literally I can do whatever the hell I want, bring hell to your life. But you need to go ahead and admit that. And if you're willing to go through that, then you are the woman for me, whether I'm the man for you. Give up on having children, right? And by the way, maybe she didn't want them, right? But you ain't gonna come in here wanting children. You're not gonna come in here wanting affection. You're not gonna, right? And you don't get to tell me that what I want to do should ever even be considered to be relinquished, even if a little bit, or even for a season, if it means that we, right, or if it means that right, you shouldn't even think that if you think we are going to exist as a we. It's I, and then you get in, and then we can go ahead and make this work. If he said that to his wife and still rolls like that with his wife, and his wife, who he says now, he says, well, it's not quite what it used to be. But he'll still admit to you that, yeah, it's still about me. If that's how his marriage is working, why do you think? See, y'all get this twisted. Y'all think that people are going to act. See, what a person does here is what a person does here. They're doing it across the board. If he treats his wife like that, and that's why you got to be careful about Christians out here. He's a Christian. If he treats his wife like that, what do you think he's going to treat you like? And why would you be surprised? If he treats his wife like that, why would he not tell you that when Tom Brady loses his, and look, I know some of y'all don't like Giselle, and I didn't even know what Giselle looked like until like a year ago, in all honesty, because I don't really care about Giselle like that. She's not in my culture. She's not really doing anything for my people, right? She's from Brazil, but she ain't really helping my people in Brazil, who, she probably got a little bit of our genes, but won't admit, to our heritage, right? So I'm not tripping off that. But what I'm just trying to tell you is, like, if he will lift up Tom Brady and say, Tom Brady is dedicated. He's passionate. He's willing to see something through as being the best at what he does, even if it means that he'll lose his marriage. By the way, if those of you who know who Nick Wright is, Nick Wright, he married to a sister. And I have no problem with Nick Wright because he stands up for a lot of stuff. But Nick Wright has already said that, man, I would hope that my wife, if I was going to become the greatest or something that I would do, would realize that that's just something I'm going to do. And I'm not, and would let me see it through. Which means that he's not going to take care of his wife. He's saying, he's telling you. See, but if Nick Wright hates on somebody, haters go viral. If Skip Bayless hates on somebody, haters go viral. You don't even look to see what the context of their life is, who they are, why are they speaking this way. We just like people that go viral. And I second that. If somebody is cursing or doing something in the chat, if you can, we got people of different ages. Plus, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook, they're always trying to relinquish stuff. That's why this is called Kofi_43 on TikTok. We literally have 4 different pages because they're always trying to take us down. So if you don't mind, just help us out. If you don't mind, thank you for being on. You can agree, disagree, say whatever it is that you want. We just ask if you don't mind, just curbing a little bit of it. Appreciate y'all, and thank you to the moderators. I bow down to them. No problem. No big deal. Like, And look, from time to time, or even if you say like trigger warning before something or something like that, like I have to do that sometimes. Every once in a while, I might have to quote something that I'm not comfortable with quoting, right? But the moderators, they help us all. So they do the same thing to me. Trust and believe. Sister Nadine, who's on here, putting the stuff up for us, I promise you, if I start saying KILL, she'll start saying, hey, be careful. So it's not just towards you, okay? Just making that clear. Right. But I'm just trying to get you to see haters go viral. Haters go viral, right? Haters go viral. Your love, therefore, is an enemy. Did you catch it now? Thank you for the compliment on the shirt. Appreciate it. The chemise, right? Did you catch it? going back to what I was saying earlier, if haters go viral, if the Skip Bayless effect is going viral, then your love is a problem, right? Your love is a problem. Even if you're gonna go at a hater, you've decided to hate the hater rather than love the hater. I can love you and still, what's the old Southern saying? I can feed you with the long handled wooden spoon. I don't have to be in the same room to feed you. I can get a long handled wooden spoon to feed you. I've been out there, right? Go out on the street and try to feed people or whatever, and you try to feed them, and they get mad and they throw stuff at you. They throw tantrums. They come up there smelling like urine and stuff. I'll still make sure you eat. I'll still give you some clothing, right? But you ain't got to be around my family or nothing. And if you keep acting a certain way, we got people that'll take you. We got security that might take you out, not take you out in that way, but take you away from the proceedings, right? There's a lot of people in my family. You need something, I got you. But yeah, I can slingshot you some food if you want. I don't have to. I don't have to be right up on you to feed you. You know what I'm saying? Because some people they're not in the place. But see, hating goes viral. So I want to warn against this, right? And we got just a little bit of time left before we get ready to take our leave because we got to get ready for the podcast. So Minister Nice can give us a word for the day. And then those who have Shabbat bit safer. Hopefully we see you at 11 on Zoom. And women's meeting at 7 at the same time. Those of you who are not going to go to those who have the women's meeting, please go to the women's meeting first. But for the rest of you, I'll be on at 7 p.m. with Minister Tamar. So you can just check us out on this TikTok channel, Kofi _ 43. And we'll be on 7 p.m. there as well. Right. And then I think we'll have our last class for Black's Law Dictionary 1. For those who've been taking classes, well, that'll be at 9. So we got a pretty full day today. Praise Yah. But I just want you to realize hating goes viral. Now, haters go viral. Why is it important that we bring that to you? Because once again, if something's a virus, we got to cure it. We have to starve it. We have to stop feeding it. And thank you, Sister Beverly, for being on. How you doing? Amen. Right? So what are you willing to do to starve hate? Right? We spell it Yahavaah, but Yah is short for him. Yahavah. Or some people, it's a dialect thing. Yahavah is original, but then some people argue that's not what we do, but they're usually using like some other dialect where we've been scattered. So some people say Yahavah, Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. Jehovah is the letter J doesn't exist in our language, but a newer thing that people have put. So some people say Jehovah, some people write it Yahovah, but IE, because there used to be no letter J. So the Greek thing still exists, the IE to make the Yah sound. But Yahava is what we say. But Yah, pretty much everybody knows what you're talking about, right? Nevertheless, how do we starve hate? Ultimately, how do we starve hate? How do we stop feeding hate? It comes back to where you got to start loving yourself. The enemy of hating on others is loving yourself. And the enemy of hating yourself is loving on others. That's going to mess some people up, right? The enemy of hating others is loving yourself. And the enemy of hating yourself is loving others. This sounds like it's wild. Sounds like you trying to be on both sides of the fence. No. If I learn how to love me, I don't have time to hate on anybody else. If I learn how to love Yah, I don't have time to hate anybody else. If I learn how to love my wife, I don't have time to hate on anybody else. Right? If I learn how to hate sin, right, then I don't have no time to love sin. Sounds peculiar. There you go. Come on, Minister Tammy. I'm too busy loving me to hate you. Right? And I'm too busy loving you to hate me. Oh, see, somebody it's gonna catch somebody. It sounds like it doesn't make sense, or it sounds like it's really simple, but I need you to comprehend, right? That I've ascended to a place because of the one who's pulled me up, and because of the people in the community that begin to pull me up. And I've gotten to a place where I can't hate you because I love me. And I know that if we're both in this together, then that means that I can't hate that person that's with me. But see, now that means though, this really gets complicated for some because you have a different comprehension of this, right? But this is but this is when it really starts to get you and bless you. You ready for this? You ready for this? Peep game. That's when it gets to a place to where I love you too much to love your sin. But if you love me, you love all. No, no, no. I love you too much to love your sin. This is when it gets kind of messed up for people. Yeah, love is the greatest weapon. I'm gonna say that again because some people will miss this. I love you too much. No matter if you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, you're on TikTok, I love you too much to love your sin. What does sin mean, by the way? A very simple way of looking at sin is anything that causes you to miss the mark. In my culture, the mark, I press towards the mark, the tav, the last character, the end, the vision of the Most High. So I love you, right, towards an expected end. And your sin is something that came up unexpectedly. Ah, come on. I wish I had more time today, but we're gonna be obedient. Minister at night. She gotta get ready to really feed you some more stuff. This is just the appetizer. She gonna give you the main course. Look, 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 look. I love you too much to love you missing the mark all the time. I love you too much to see you treating your family like that. Right? So I love you. See, the real you doesn't mistreat a woman. The real you would not disrespect a man. The real you would be a living sacrifice while not being a friend to your child, but becoming a foundation. Yeah, hate is a very strong word. Hate is when we get to a place where we want to ignore everybody, right? So I love you too much to love your sin, which means I love you, but yes, I hate the sin. Now, the word hate, even if you want to get to the Greek, we've studied this word even in the Greek before, you got to get to a Greek word for hate that's talking about to detest something. The word detest means I'm or breaking down what is tested, the test. So if you bring me something and I see it test me, if I see it's not of the Most High, I must break it down. I must detest it. I must ignore it. I must find a way to ultimately put it in its place so that I can only have those things that bring the glory of the Lord in. See, you catch it? See, to hate something means that I have to figure out a way to what? To break it down to the point to where it has no power. I need to have something that has no power. How you doing, Sister Snap? I know we need to get caught up too, right? I need to break something down to the point where it has no power. So I love you. I want to see the power in you, but I cannot invest in the things that are not of you. The hate, the things that are sinful or that miss the mark in your life are the things that I should detest. That's what hate is. So I can love you, come on in. But hey, you got to check that attitude at the door. I love you, but you got to check that narcissist at the door. That's not the real you, right? I love you, but the troll, I got to check you at the door because that's not you. You're not a troll. You're not a fictitious entity. You're not a made up story. You're a real person, right? I love you, but I can't take the things that don't make sense anymore, right? I love you, right? But we got to deal with that little girl that was messed up when she was little, and somebody took away her innocence because you might be trying to bring her in. And if she's not healed, she's not whole. And holiness means being one. You're not whole. So we got to figure out how to heal her because here you are 55, but you still dealing with the stuff when somebody messed you up when you was 15. I love you, but your mindset of having to try and be a strong, independent black woman when you should be interdependent, and men should make sure that they allow you to do all the great things that you are, hold you up, but protect you at the same time. And you've been insecure because we've been insecure. That means I've got to heal your brother in order to make sure that I heal the sister. And I've got to heal the sister in order to heal the brother. See, I love you, but I got to take that sin out. All black men. All black men are bad. All black men are this. Okay, I love you, but I got to take that out. Well, the black men I'm around, cool. Then that means I got to love you, but let's take away that environment real quick. Let's get you around some people, at least on the phone with some people that you can talk to that ain't dealing with that every day, and that's not their focus. See, I love you, but some of your prayers are trash because some of your prayers are talking about, Yah, never leave me nor forsake you. But Yah already told you he'd never leave you nor forsake you. Why are you praying that? Where's your faith? Oh, you don't want to hear that. See, I love you, but that's not something that you commanded to pray. That's not proper conversation. If anything, thank you for never leaving me nor forsaking me. Why are you asking them? Is it because you left him? Because he doesn't leave the throne. He always stays in position. His word doesn't change. Even the way the word was supposed to be written, according to Matthew chapter 5, verse 18, was never supposed to change. I love you, but there's some sin that you're bringing in. Why? There's some things that we are so busy loving. We said that the person, we should be able to go and support everything a person does. And now we've begun to make gods out of YouTubers. Even if you call me an influencer, I'm not a deity. I'm not a god. I'm not somebody that you bow down and worship. Right? And you would say with me, well, yeah, of course not. But be careful. See, because Denzel Washington can show you a bad example all day, but then all he has to do is quote you a scripture or say something that sounds nice, motivational, and you'll forget the bad examples that he sold into you for years. Because he's a sex symbol. Because he's confident. He told you when he did the scene in Glory, before he did the Glory, where he shed the glory tear y'all love so much, he told you that he went in a room and invited all the spirits to come into his body, and then he said he controlled the spirits. You can't do that, Denzel. That's not how that works. But that's Denzel. And I'm not here. Once again, I don't have a heaven to hell to put anybody in. I want to show you some examples. I pray that Denzel begins to get some of those things together if he has not already. I know Denzel goes into the community and meets with people. I'm just here to tell you that there's some things that maybe we're holding on to and ignoring. I love you, Denzel, but I got to hate that part real quick. See, your love and your version of hate. See, our cultural hate is not to hate the person. We hate the sin. But hating people is what goes viral. What are we talking about today in this series that we've been having going on for a while now called This System is Sus? Today we're talking about haters go viral. It's problematic. And we've begun to want to be like the haters because it gets us views. It gets us clicks. Even when you talk about bad things, you can't wait to go on and say, see, problem with y'all white people is, problem with you black people is, problem with you Republicans is, problem with the Democrats, these liberals are. You have all these terms, snowflake, libertard, all these foolish things. And then try to figure out, man, even if you're telling the truth, why can't anybody hear the truth? Man, Hebrew Israelites, hear me. Love you. You're my family. You're my brothers. You're my sisters. But if your first response on everything is to say the cracker this, and the N word this, and the B word this, if that's your first response, who's going to hear you? People that hate. And now you become nothing but haters. And you're saying because there's a bunch of y'all wearing purple, that means you're not haters. Because you love each other. Do you know that it's possible to love yourself and still be a hater, and hate other people? And still be counted as a hater? Let's go to the word real quick. I've been in the word the whole time, by the way, but sometimes if you don't crack open the Bible, they think you don't know what you're talking about. Let's go to Luke. And let's go to Luke chapter 6. And before we get to verse 38, which is where y'all like to stop, let's go before that. If you have it, if you're able to turn in your Bible with me, turn to Luke chapter 6 real quick. Some of you call it the synoptic gospels. I don't follow spells of any gods, but we'll go to the interpretation of Luke, of Yashua HaMashiach according to who we call Luke. By the way, Luke is a physician. Somebody missed that. Luke is a physician, right? So if Luke is a physician, what does that mean? That means he's somebody who takes care of these viruses. So let's see what Yahashua, right? Let's say what this disciple who's disciplined in Yah and also disciplined in medicine. Let's see what he paid attention to when the Messiah was talking. I want to go to Luke chapter 6, and we're going to start. I won't go back to verse 29 because some of y'all will get into a whole esoteric discussion that people don't comprehend what's going on, right? But let's go to Luke 6, verse 31. And this is technically the Sermon on the Mount. This is kind of sort of, if you know Matthew chapter 7, this is around Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. So if you want to go and study Matthew chapter 7, verse 12 and put this together with Luke, feel free to do so, right? And read that. So I invite you to go to Matthew chapter 7, verse 12 and read on through the end of it, because Luke chapter 6, verse 32, we're going to read like verse 31, through 38. And these two go hand in hand. Okay, this is the same thing. Matthew, who's a tax collector, is looking at certain lawful things legally. All right, Luke, as a physician, is looking at certain things that heal. Okay, and here's what Yahashua, or who people call Yeshua, Yahushua, Yahabashai. Some of you still call him Yesus or Yesu or Jesus, right? But our Messiah, right? It's saying here in Luke chapter 6, verse 31. Let's see what he says about hate and haters. And how, if you're not careful, you think that you're loving people, but you really just a hater. And be careful. Be careful. Here we go. You ready? Everybody said they got, okay, here we go. Luke chapter 6, verse 31. It says, Ot, some of y'all know what that is, but let's just read it in English. Sorry, my bad. And as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also unto them likewise. What you would want somebody to do to you, be ready to do it to them likewise. By the way, once again, Matthew chapter 7, verse 12 is where you start. If you read Matthew chapter 7, verse 12, that right there says, you call this the golden rule, but Matthew 7:12 tells you the complete golden rule, which is do unto others you want done unto them, for this is the law and the prophets. You got to know what the prophets are saying. You got to know what the law is saying. You got to be obedient, and you got to keep the same thing going. All right? Okay. All right. So, but let's keep going. Luke chapter 6, verse 32. For if ye love them which love you, what thank have ye? For sinners also love those that love them. What is it? What is it? Hold on. So if you have love for those that have love for you, what is there to be thankful about? Because sinners do the same thing. Man, I got love for them, man. You won't comprehend, man. I got love for those who got love for me. When I was in the struggle, they struggled with me. But if you can only love them, I mean, sinners do that. That's easy. That's child's play. Hey, how you doing, Sister Sonia? That's child's play. See, our love is going to confront this hate. Haters go viral, but this doesn't go. And you got to know how love is, right? John 13 says what? By this will men know that you are my disciples, by the way ye love one another. And don't love one another according to your standard. Love one another the way that or that he has loved you. All right now. So how you love yourself is not even your standard of love. For your righteousness is as a period rag. Is as a filthy rag. It's got to be you love yourself according to his standards. Come on, affirmations. Romans 8:1. Don't condemn yourself. Romans 8:11. The same spirit that rose Christ from the dead dwells within you. Romans 8:18. The stuff you choose to suffer through at this moment is not worthy to be compared to the glory which shall be revealed. Romans 8:19. Somebody's waiting on you to manifest so they can become a children of the Most High as well. Romans 8:28. That all things are working together for Elohim, right? And therefore will work for you. Why? Because you love him. And you're called according to his purpose. In Romans 8:37, don't think like conquerors or even commoners, for you are more than a conqueror. You do not have common sense. You have kingdom sense. Come on, somebody, right? So Luke chapter 6, verse 33 then says, and if ye do constitutional things or righteous things or things that give Yah glory, to them which do those same things to you, what thank have ye? For sinners also do the same. The people you say missed the mark in Congress that you hate so much, they take care of their children. They believe in generational wealth. That's just the beginning. I'm there for my wife. There's somebody out there that's a sinner that's there for their wife. Maybe not in the way that Yah says, but they still there. All right, let's keep on going down that iceberg, right? Luke chapter 6, verse 34. If ye if ye lend to them whom ye hope to receive, what thank have ye? For sinners also lend to sinners to receive as much gain. So if you're only going to give to people with an expectation that they're going to give you back or give you back with interest, they said they do the same thing in the world. If that's I'm not saying you shouldn't get anything back. Hear what I'm saying? If that's the only reason you give is I only give to people where I know I'll get something back, then what makes you different than a sinner? They do the same thing. Why are we out here judging all these folks? Well, you know, the white man, blah, blah. Do you not know that the white man had to be mistaught too? What you call the white man had to be mistaught so that he would go ahead and be against you and you could be against him? If that's your only mindset is because of the color of their skin, they're evil, then you missed it. Because they do that to you too. You were both taught by the same master. Whether you were overseer or a house Negro, you was taught by the same master. Okay, thank you for the warning. Appreciate it. You hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? You're out here talking about, look, if you are offering people with your words and they offering people with their words, then who's better? Right? When I get into these coaching sessions with marriages, right? And both sides are both yelling at each other the same way, I can't take nobody's side. Even if I don't want to take a side, I can't take, or even if I wanted to take a side, I can't take anybody's side because both y'all cussing each other out. So who's better? You know what I'm saying? Who's righteous? Nobody. Hey, Sister Sabrina, how you doing? We were up there close to y'all not too long ago. We're gonna try and see if we can go there in the next few months again. We were up there in New Jersey. I don't know if you're still up there or not. I know you were saying you were going to move. Right? So we got a problem here. But let's keep on going. Luke chapter 6, verse 35. But that means canceled out. Cancel out all that stuff that you think is in your head. Whenever you see a but, cancel that out. Yep, I'm married. Right? And even if I wasn't, we're going by the word of Yah, right? And our version of marriage, by the way, in our culture is a lot different than yours. And so we don't think about marriage the same way. Nevertheless, right? If you need to see the proof of it, right? You have every right. Once again, remember I said you put your life on display. People get to question it. No problem. Thank you for doing so. All right? So you ready? Luke chapter 6, verse 35. But cancel out that mindset. Get your cultural prism correctly. Start looking through a different lens. You ready? Luke chapter 6, verse 35. But love ye your enemies. Didn't say be a doormat. But your actions towards your enemies don't have to be your enemies' actions towards you. So love ye your enemies and do what is righteous to them and lend, hoping for nothing again. Doesn't mean you can't receive, but that shouldn't be your hope. Don't put your hope because your faith comes out of your hope, right? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. So don't start hoping on something so much that you start putting faith in it. And when you don't see manifestation, you put your hope in the wrong thing. Now you say that that person is this, that, or whatever. You put your hope in the wrong thing. Your hope is not in man. Let them let their yea be yea and your nay mean nay. Your yea mean yea, your yes be yes, your no mean no. Okay? Right? But love ye your enemies and do righteous things or constitutional things or things that give y'all glory or what you guys might call good, right? And lend, hoping for nothing again, and your reward. See, my hope is not getting the reward from you. My reward is not getting a personal thing from you. Right? Everybody talk about, well, this and that or whatever. I'm gonna do this, and we gonna roll, and we gonna be this, and I got you, Pastor. And then somebody starts doing something, or you guys in your life, somebody do something to you, and you swear this person gonna be your friend, and this your boo for life, and this your BFF, and all this stuff, and this my man, 50 grand, and then all of a sudden you go through something, that person ain't there, and you willing to, and you like, man, this is terrible, and blah blah. No, 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 stop. Just because somebody was a constituent or a comrade doesn't mean that you don't keep giving out confidant energy, right? Because they're not going to ultimately be your reward. If they bless you with something, they bless you according to the reward that comes from the Most High. If they're disobedient, the Most High still owes you a reward, right? So do what you're supposed to. Why? And your reward shall be great, and ye shall be the children of the highest. Wait a minute. So not everybody can be his child. We say this quite often. Everybody says everybody is the Most High's child. No, there's certain things that you can tell about the children, because there's certain things that the children of Yah, the children of Yashtael, the children of the king who are in the kingdom, they do certain things. It just said we don't just give to people expecting to get back. We don't only love those that love us, right? We don't only do things for people that we know they're going to do things back in return. Children of Yah don't act the same. We don't roll the same. We don't look the same. We don't look for the same thing, because our culture, that's not what's in us. And by the way, if we get around people that are like us, like-minded in our culture, guess what we're going to do? We're going to do those things to each other anyways, because we have the same mindset. But if you're going to go out to the world, I'm not assuming. I said this, what? I was going to say yesterday, sorry. What was it, Wednesday? I said this. I said, I don't expect a fly, right? I don't disrespect the fly or get mad at the fly if it eats dung. If it's buzzing around somebody's number two, somebody's fecal matter, it actually makes sense to me, because that's what flies do, right? If I take care of a python and the python eventually tries to squeeze the life out of me, I don't get mad at the python. I might have to do something to it to get it off me, but I'm not mad at it. Why? Because ultimately it's not doing stuff according to what my people would do. It's a snake. It's not even a person. But I'm trying to make an artificial relationship with an artificial person. Yeah, you got to have quality. And realize not everybody has it. And thank you, Sister Wendy, and how you doing, right? But let's keep on going. We got to finish up. We got to get ready, Minister Nice. I know you champing at the bit. I'm excited about the word of Yah that's going to come forth, right? So we're going to get ready to transition into our podcast, right? But let's just finish this up real quick. Let's make sure we're on point, right? So and ye shall be the children of the highest, for he is kind unto the unthankful and to the evil. Wait a minute. It rains on the just and the unjust just alike. Wait a minute. Yah allows people to breathe like he allows you to breathe. Wait a minute. Yah allows the person who says that they don't believe in him to still draw breath. Wait a minute. Yah still preaches to the person that says that all preachers are trash and they're trying to take your money. Yah still gives traveling grace to the people who don't even believe that he's watching over them. Yeah. And you as a child of Yah, if that's how your father acts, if you're going to be in his house, then you're supposed to do what he does in his house. Come on, right? Yah, wait a minute. Yah forgives the you who are his wife when you keep stepping out on him. So you might have to forgive your husband one day, or you might have to forgive your wife one day. Yeah. Wait a minute. Yah loves the unlovable. Yeah. I'm not saying keep letting that person do you dirty. I'm just saying you might have to really be challenged with some stuff one day out of love. Once again, I love you too much to allow that sin to come through the door, right? I got to check that sin. You're coming in with a mindset that you should be a hater. Haters go viral. We don't. We're not worried about being viral in here. We're worried about correcting some things and healing the virus. We need to heal the virus of unforgiveness. We need to heal the virus of hate. We need to heal the virus of frustration. We need to heal the virus of anxiety. We need to heal the virus of lack of faith. We need to heal the virus of if it's not your way, then it don't work. We need to heal the virus of narcissism, and because narcissistic behavior says, well, I came into this expecting this, and because I didn't get this, then I'm gone, right? And you're bringing that to your jobs, you're bringing that to your churches, you're bringing that to your camps, you're bringing that to your social media, you're bringing that to your families, and I call it out Right? Or in the name of Yahshua, in the name of our Messiah, I call it out and I decree and declare over your life that the law always comes first, and you will not be able to bring that stuff into the kingdom anymore. If you try to bring it into the kingdom, it must fail. I decree it according to the word of Yah. And if you're going to continue to do it now that it's been brought up, every time that you continue to do that, I must rebuke it. And if you keep messing around and saying, this is who I am, then unfortunately, now you go into an artificial person, an artificial version of yourself. I must rebuke thee. Atsham Yahweh. Atsham Yahazavai. Atsham Ravakakwadash. It is what it is. I love you too much to love your sin. No matter how holy you are. Right? No matter how holy and majestic and awesome and great and grand and sanctified and filled with the Holy Spirit you are, I rebuke any of that in the name of our Lord. Verse 36. Be ye therefore merciful as your Father. If your Father is merciful, be ye merciful as your Father is merciful. If you have no mercy, then he is not your Father. Kofi gonna make some mistakes. Please be merciful. Not because I just need you to be merciful to me. Be merciful because your Father is merciful. Solomon come up behind me. He gonna make some mistakes. Be ye merciful as your Father is merciful. Right? Some of y'all preaching are gonna make some mistakes. I have not really called out anybody, even if they say something that's not righteous. I don't really call them, and I definitely never done it in public. Why? Because I learned how to be merciful. Because my Father is merciful. Do you know how many times I made mistakes? For example, it was brought up to me by somebody in the community that now Harvard and all of them, they've changed. So they are now accredited schools. They didn't used to be, but now they've gone back to being accredited schools. So I can't say that anymore. They used to be non-accredited. Now they are accredited. So those of you who look it up and find out they're accredited, please be ye merciful. They should have stayed non-accredited in my opinion. Now I can see why some of the stuff that they're doing seems to be going down, right? Because of the accreditation. But still, we ask that you be merciful. We can all make a mistake. Be ye merciful. You didn't used to know all the stuff that you know. So when somebody doesn't know what you know and they're acting up because they don't know what you know, I'm asking you this: be ye merciful as your Father in heaven is merciful. Because also here's the flip side of it. He'll be merciful as you are merciful. But then here's the flip side of it. You ready? Luke chapter 6, verse 37. Judge not, and ye shall not be judged. This is talking about somebody's salvation. Judge not, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn not, and ye shall not be condemned. Right? Right? And forgive, and ye shall be forgiven. So be ye merciful. Stop bringing the hate everywhere. Be ye merciful as your Father in heaven is also merciful. Why? Because if you judge people that way, he gonna judge you to the same standard. And if you condemn people that way, he's gonna condemn you according to your standard. Right? And if you can't forgive, he's gonna not forgive according to your standard. Because that's what you say you understand. That's the standard you say you're under. By the way, that's what happened with Pharaoh. Moses, I'm tired of y'all. I'm gonna do just like my grandfather did. We should have just gone ahead and killed y'all off. Or just like my father did, rather. We should have just killed y'all off. We're gonna do it again. Every firstborn to punish you for these 9 plagues. He said, Pharaoh, you messed up. Y'all already told me whatever the next plague is, it's because you decreed it. He's just going to agree with what you said. Whatever your standard is, that's what has to be given unto thee. This is why the next verse, Luke 6:38, says, give, and it shall be given unto thee. Elohim's measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over shall men give unto your bosom. For with the same measure that you meet, shall it be given unto thee. I only got love for those who got love for me. Okay, so every time your actions show no love for me, when you get in front of me before heaven, I'm going to start putting out all the times that your actions didn't show love to me. I only help those who help me. Okay, so every time I needed you to go ahead and do my word and help people according to my standard and give a little extra instead of laying down and going to sleep, and you decided to do the opposite, I'm gonna show that that's gonna show up when you get in front of me. I'm just giving you word, right? I'm just giving you the standard. You say this is your standard. Read your Bible to bless you. I judged them. They were homosexual, so they had to go to hell. Okay, you know what? Every time you had a homosexual thought, or you don't want the real standard, you're holding them accountable for what they do. Yahashua, the Messiah, he said, if you consider it, he said, if it comes across your mind, you already did it. You talking about people who committed adultery. He said, if you think of something as adulterous, you already did it. Right? If you think of something, by the way, fornication, it comes from the Greek word, those of you who like the Greek, it's talking about porneia or porneia. Pornography in the Greek is a false image of marriage. So if you've done anything that's not a real version of marriage, Yah says, I got you. Because you're supposed to be married to me. So if you think about something, you judging the person that's in the pornography, but you're not even thinking about being married to me correctly, I will hold you accountable. I didn't say you can't call it out. I said I love you too much to allow that to happen in your life. He loves you too much to allow you to keep going down that road. So we're going to help you to fix it. But you must comprehend that if you're going to judge others, right? If you're not going to fix, you got the beam. This is Matthew chapter 7 as well. You talking about the chaff. When it says the chaff, this is what chaff is. If you don't know, this is what chaff is. He said, you worried about the chaff that blows and gets in your brother's eye. And be sitting in your brother's eye. And he said, you so worried about getting out of his eye, but you got a 2x4 hanging out of yours. You got a big old beam. You got a big old piece of tree hanging out of your eye, but you talking about the fact that your brother is doing it is like this. Get yourself together. He can brush that off. He can brush that to the side. But you got a problem because you got a big old 2x4. Every time that you look at somebody, you hear somebody say, hey, and you go and look to the right, you knocking people out because you can't see and you got something hanging out of you that's not supposed to be in your life. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. All right, we got to get ready to take our leave. We got to get ready for this word from Minister Anais. Praise Yah. Praise Yah. Did anybody get anything out of that? If so, bless him. Bless his name. Hallelujah. Give him glory. Hallelujah. He's worthy to be praised. Come on. Come on. Even if you don't like it, it's okay if you don't like this. You need this. You need to be set straight. You need to show love. You need to be ready to go to the next level. All right? You need to get ready to go to the next level. It's going to hurt. If it's a great word, it's not always going to be your friend. Sometimes it's not going to be something you're going to agree with. It doesn't mean you don't need to hear it. Hallelujah. Tada Abba. Tada Abba at Savar at Sham. Yahava at Sham. Yahashva at Sham Ravak Hakodash Barak. Savar at Yashta'al. In everything that we do. Amen. Hallelujah. All right, Shabbat Shalom, family. We're going to get ready to do our shout out, get ready to transition into the next part of today. Minister Anais is going to be giving us the word for this whole month. Next month is going to be Minister Shantae. So we're excited about that. Also, too, we're excited, I believe, next Wednesday on YouTube, we're going to start having the ministers in training. They're going to come on and preach for you guys on YouTube next Wednesday. So we're excited about that. And we hope that you guys are ready for a word on Wednesday from them. And of course, we have so many different things. Remember today, real quick, and then we got to take our leave and get ready to transition. Remember for today, so at the top of this hour, 10 a.m. Eastern New York time, Minister Anais is going to give us a word on the Kofi Ofori podcast for our Shabbat Shalom service. That'll be put up on YouTube later. Also, we're going to try to put Brother Vargas up on YouTube as well. He was with us last night. For those that missed last night, he was on last night with us. So we'll put him on YouTube if you want to be able to find out what's going on with that as well and listen up for that. At 11 a.m. Eastern New York time, we're going to have our Shabbat Bit Sefer or Shabbat Bait Savar for our children. At 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern New York time, I believe we're doing the makeup session for our sisters from last Saturday. So we'll try to put that on Google Calendar invite. Once the sisters are finished, please come over. If you're not a sister, you can just go ahead and come over with us at 7 p.m. Eastern New York time. I'll be on with Minister Tamah for her on her TikTok, but you can find us right here on this TikTok channel, Kofi_43. And that'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern New York time. And at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern New York time, we should be having our last Black's Law Dictionary 1 session for this semester. Praise y'all. Don't forget about our stuff coming up as well. As far as September 29th through October the 6th. Thank you for those who have started already having your donations come in. If you need help with it, if you want to discuss some of the things, first of all, you can go to the website. There's a lot of information on there already. We've been posting the stuff at the end of these live sessions as well. But feel free to ask whatever questions you need. And we're thankful for you guys. We're working on the new newsletter to be up in front of you guys very soon. We praise y'all for that team. Elder Maya, Minister Anais, and Sister Austral. Thank you for all that you guys are doing as well. And that's all I have. If I miss you for some reason for the rest of the day, we'll see you right back on the same platforms at 8 a.m. Eastern New York time tomorrow, and we'll get it in for a long time. I don't know. Hopefully we'll be on location somewhere else. We've been doing some travel again lately, and we're excited and thankful. So we thank you again to Sister Isabella. Happy Born Day to you. Happy Born Day to all those. By the way, if you have a Born Day in the month of June, reach out to us and let us know. Our hospitality branch of what we do would love to be able to reach out to you and say Shabbat, shalom to you, peace, speak some blessings, check in, or just anything going on, period. We like to be able to make sure that we can reach out to you. So let us know, and we thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. All right, so I'm gonna take my leave, and we're gonna get ready. If you're on TikTok with us, by the way, we're getting ready to do our shout out. The shout out, if you've never done with us, it gets you information on stuff we do outside of just the live sessions. So if you'd like to learn more about classes and more about meetups or more about whatever it is, people that might live in your area that have similar philosophies and things like that, whatever the case might be, we'd love to be able to talk to you guys. We're gonna try and do a meetup. Or by the way, next week, I don't know what time yet, probably around 12 noon. So noon Eastern New York time, we would like to have a meeting with everybody. So SOC meeting with everybody. So if you don't have the Zoom link for it, or if you don't get the, the Google Calendar invite or whatever, just let us know. But you should be seeing that pop up sometime this week. Okay. Thank you everybody again for doing the intermittent fasting with us. Thank you to everybody who showed up last night for our prayer and worship service as well. And if you missed that, the recording of it's there on YouTube as well. Only about 10-15 minutes tops. So you can watch that there, whatever, make your prayer request known there if you missed it with us. And we'd love to make sure that we touch and agree with you on your prayer. All right. So thank you guys. Appreciate you. See you guys at the top of the hour on the podcast. It'll show up on your screen in just a second if you're on TikTok. And once again, if you've never done the shout out with us, it'll be pretty. I'll explain how it works in just a second. Okay. All right. So I'll explain how it works in just a second. All right. Hold on one second. So thank you again for being on with us. We appreciate you. As always, it's been. Oh, I'm sorry. Please check out my wife, as always, the Honorable Maya, on TikTok. We lost the Wi-Fi. Somebody was trying to call. I don't know if you guys can hear me or see me right now at the moment. I'm busy scrolling, so I can't see the screen. Somebody tried to call me. I apologize. But thank you to everybody for being on. Please check out my wife, as always, the Honorable Maya, on TikTok, YouTube, her website, and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish. Not A&D, the letter N, Bloom and Flourish. She is a healer, herbalist, chemist, and biologist by degree. And we thank everybody so much. And we appreciate you. We'll talk to you guys soon. As always, this has been Pastor Kofi, Pastor Servant of Christ, where we are always changing lives one mind at a time, of being the voice of the voiceless and speaking the unspoken. And until I have the great privilege, opportunity, and responsibility of being in front of you all again, please remember, as always, Yashua, that you are loved, you're necessary, you're majestic, you're fearfully and wonderfully made, and you, which is all of us working together, will be the reason why people who are in this system no longer have to be of it. Shabbat shalom, peace. To those that are still on TikTok, this is how the shout out works, and it's going to be a really quick shout out.